All right, here we go. Welcome, man. Welcome. I have been looking forward to talk to you. So, one of the things I'm
Yes.
gonna do is I'm gonna post your link to your YouTube channel on my YouTube channel as well, and so that
Okay.
people can actually go and see why I'm actually doing this interview. So that hopefully will be able to bring you, some views and all that kind of stuff, so people understand why I'm interviewing you. So
Most definitely.
pronounce your name correct. It's Rahiem.
Yes,
Okay.
Raheem.
Okay, good. So let me ask you, when you were locked up for 4 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what was that experience like, being locked up for 4 years? And how old were you, first of all,
That's
when you were locked up?
experience. Okay. An experience getting locked. It was crazy. It was like honestly, the first night I was in the cell, I, I was just I was just hoping it was a dream.
No.
I was really hoping I woke up from the dream, but I woke up in that cell still. So it was almost like a surreal type of feeling. Um, I didn't believe it was happening almost, and it was like a culture shock. I'd never been in jail before, so it's like I had to learn how to move in that environment and adapt. So and then my mother was distraught. She didn't know what was going on, and I was hoping they would let me go to like on bail or something like that. But in Jersey, they have like a bail reform type of thing where you don't put money up for bail. You see a bail hearing first through video, like a video court type of thing. And then if they deny you, then you go to the real court. And basically they denied me both times.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. So how old were you when you were locked up?
Yeah. 18 to really 18 to really 22 because I just came home January 29th, but my birthday is February 21st. So really it's like from 18 to 22.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously, I saw you when you you were knocking at the door, right? And your mom. What was
Yeah.
that? What was what was that experience? Yeah, I'll be honest. I started crying. I was
Yes.
I was crying too, and I was trying not to cry. I'll be honest with you, but I started crying because when she started bawling, I was like, "Oh my god!" And I started crying, and I just like, and then I shared the video with several of my
Yeah.
friends so that they could see it. But what was that experience like for
Mm-hmm.
you when you saw her
Mm-hmm.
and she started crying when she opened that door?
It was just crazy. Like I did expect that reaction because she didn't know I was coming home. So they actually took a little bit of time off because of COVID. I guess they passed a bill in New Jersey where people got time off their sentences, but
Mm,
she didn't know that, and I didn't tell her either. I just wanted to surprise her. Now at this time, I was in a halfway house. So I was in a halfway house for like a good year, and basically, wearing regular clothes, you have money in your pockets and stuff like that. And I was able to sell cigarettes because in New Jersey, cigarettes are expensive, but
oh,
in Georgia, they're cheap.
oh,
So I would have my mother send me cartons of cigarettes and I sell them in Jersey and then send the money back down here and then just keep
wow.
doing that. But I was able to put some money off to the side.
Hmm.
Another thing that people do in the halfway house is people have money. So they might gamble playing cards or playing dice or something like that. And when they run out of money, they want money right then and there. Now me, I don't gamble or anything, so I'll usually just save my money. But somebody might come to me and say, "Hey, I'll send you $50 on Cash App if you give me $40 in cash."
Oh
So that's
wow.
like a $10 profit,
Yeah.
and it's on Cash App. And Cash App has a Cash App card. So with that Cash App card, I called out there. I had one of my friends book a flight for me, and
Mm,
I paid for it from my Cash App card. So I already had the flight set up. Then I needed to ride. So I had another friend who was in there with me. He got out like a week before me. He came and picked me up, drove me from South Jersey to North Jersey in my area. And
hmm.
then I caught the flight down here. And I had a friend in Georgia pick me up from the airport and surprise my mother. So that's how that
Oh, okay,
happened.
that's what happened.
And the film was just like, wow, like, yeah, she was so happy. And I
Yeah.
already knew it was going to be like that. but I didn't like, I don't know. I just didn't know I didn't know what to expect, but
Yeah.
she just missed me a lot. She missed me a lot.
Yeah, that was, man. It's what's the first thing you did when you got home? Like, what's the first thing you did?
I can't even remember. I probably just honestly just stayed home with my family, my little sister and my mother, and just enjoyed their company. I'm sure my mother made dinner, and I didn't really do too much. It's not like we went out somewhere or anything like that. You know, it was just me just adjusting to being back home.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm.
know.
So let me ask you, what? I mean, I've heard all types of things about being locked up in prison and all that type of stuff. What
Mhm.
advice would you give to, young men who are out there and hopefully, don't get themselves in that situation? What advice would you give to them to encourage them to not put themselves in that situation?
Okay. So to not put themselves in that
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
honestly, just do right. Like some people will do wrong and feel like they can get away with it, and they might get away with it, but you're eventually gonna get caught.
Yeah.
So that's for the guys doing something wrong. Now, for the guys who get into like just something like me where they didn't know and
Yeah.
might have just been driving through a state, because it happens all the time,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Just try to know state laws. I know people aren't really gonna like sit and look up, all right, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
traveling through this state, what's the laws in this state with that? But really do the due diligence, because
Yeah.
it's not worth getting in trouble and messing up your name or your record or doing time
Yeah.
over you not looking up what the laws were.
Yeah.
You
So
know, because the courts don't want to hear, I don't know.
yeah, let's clarify for everyone who's going to be watching. Let them know how you got caught up in what happened to you, how you got caught up in the system. So, they don't think you were.
Okay, so basically, my whole family is originally from New Jersey. My mother moved me down south when I was young, and in Georgia, it's really easy to get a gun permit and be able to have your weapon. Everybody out here, a lot of people have weapons, but what we might not realize out here is that like you can't take it everywhere, and sometimes you might get too comfortable. You might just leave it in your car all the time. So basically, with me, like I had it in my car, and I was driving through New Jersey because I was actually visiting, and I got pulled over basically because like I was driving on a highway, and they said I didn't. It's called a move over law, which is another reason why you should read up on your laws.
Yeah.
Whenever like a cop's like on the side of the road or something like that, you got to move over a lane. Now, it was a little confusing that night because I was driving on the road and I seen the cop in the right lane and I was in the middle lane. And he had his lights on for a second, but he turned them off and kind of turned his wheel to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
So I slowed down, was trying to let him pull out, and he didn't pull out. So I kind of just drove right past him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he pulled out and turned his lights back on. And I was actually with a friend in the car. I was in the car. I'm like, hey, bro, like they're pulling us over. Thinking about the weapon in the car. My first thing to do, my mother always tells me, is turn on all the lights and grab your license and registration and put it on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing I did. So he did that or whatever. And then he said basically we didn't move over a lane, and he wanted to search the car. So I'm like, all right, like you can search the car. And then he found the weapon, and I said, it's registered in Georgia. And he's like, well, it's not registered here. We got to take you to jail, this and that. And then I went to jail, and then I didn't think I would be fighting that much time or anything like that. But I guess the mandatory minimum of any weapon charge is 5 years with a 42-month stip. And that's 3.5 years mandatory that you have to do, 5-year back number. I was expecting to get something a little lighter, three with a 1. Sometimes they come down, but in New Jersey, it's kind of depends on where you get caught at. For example, like there's a county called Essex County. I'm not sure if you heard of Newark, New Jersey. Yep. If I was to get caught in Newark, New Jersey, I probably would have got probation. But I got caught in like the suburbs of Middlesex County in Edison, and they're not playing that out there. Yeah, they're not playing that out there. So kind of, it was a hand I was dealt, but I just learned from it.
Yeah. So what now? Like, what are your plans for the rest of your life? Are you in school? What's going on? What are you doing now?
Well, now I'm actually in school. I go to SAE Institute of Atlanta, Stands for Sound Audio Entertainment. They teach audio engineering, but they also teach filmmaking. And I'm taking the audio engineering program. So I'm learning all the aspects of audio engineering. Now, audio engineering really is like a science because you're manipulating audio. You know, you're engineering audio. Some people may look at it as, oh, he just wants to be in recording studios with artists and take their vocals, but that's not just audio engineering. Audio engineering is video games, movies. I just got an email, Bloop, the Bloop. That's the audio engineer who made that sound. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of aspects of that. They also teach live sound, how to set up live sound, and especially being in the Atlanta area, it's going to be a lot of job opportunity for me. And the fact that this industry, the music industry mainly, doesn't discriminate against records. So they're not going to be like, oh, he got a felony, he can't audio engineer. No, do you know how to get it done? All right, let's do it. You know?
Sounds good.
So that's my goal. And I also do music, so it works hand in hand.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the music, because that's a good segue to the music. Tell us a little bit about your music.
All right, so my music, it varies in range. Like sometimes, like I might talk my sadness, my pain. Sometimes I might talk love, and sometimes I might just talk like regular like rap, hip hop that people want to hear. I like to just really make people. I love the feeling of having people enjoy my music, and that's something that I've had. Like by having people enjoy my music, I've had that experience a lot of times. Growing up in like high school, where like the whole school was singing my song. I had this one song, Any Block Bop. I actually I engineered that in my car with me and my friend. We made that song, and after that song, it was like the whole area was like knowing us, knowing our names. We go to parties and be like, "Oh, you're so and so that made Any Block Bop. Come on in for free," like stuff like that. I went to Atlantic Records, sat down with the vice president of A&R. His name's Riggs Morales, and M. Groove's music group. And this all happened before I got arrested. So like a month later or so, I got arrested, and it was like, I feel like I saw my dream, but it kind of got snatched from me. But it might be a learning lesson. And I do feel like the prison situation gives me more substance and more to talk about in my music. So I just came home really trying to hit the ground running and still chase that dream, and go to school for audio engineering as well, because there's so many connections in my school. Like my teachers are Grammy award-winning and Grammy nominated engineers that still work with artists. You know, and still work at studios. You know, so it's just that's always been my passion, honestly.
So have you written anything based on your experience being locked up? Have you written a song yet or anything like that?
Yeah, honestly, I do have a lot of songs that I wrote in there. It's kind of weird though, because like when I was in there, I was dealing with a heartbreak. Because I went in there having a girlfriend, and that didn't really last. I mean, she stuck around for like a good year, but you know, things started changing, and she'll say it's not my fault. She kind of just needed that physical touch. And it's hard for a girl because she was the same age as me, like she was 18, 19. It's hard for her to do that. So I understand. And I didn't understand as much when I was in there, but I understand more when I got out here, and I kind of lay in my bed. I'm like, dang, like I'm just by myself. I can only imagine her, because we had our own apartment together. We were living together, you know, so to have that taken away like that, and she had to move back with her mother because she couldn't afford it on her own. And I'm sure it was a lot for her. But I did write a lot of heartbreak songs and stuff that maybe issue that me and my mother were going through. I wrote about that as well. But I have a lot of songs.
So the one with you and your mom, do you have a line you could share with us? Is there like a line off the top of your head you remember?
Yeah, can I curse?
I don't know if YouTube will just if you leave out the curse, but okay,
believe it.
Okay.
I said, me and my mama beef, and she think I just because I'm doing this bid, but I know one day I'll be lit. I know one day I'll be rich, whipping the Benz, and I know they doubting this ish. They should tell them that think about their biz, and no, I ain't proud of this ish, but it is what it is. Only thing I can do is try to fix it. And since you were here every season, yeah, I eat you, eat me, feast. Oh, if anything, you were the reason that the people like Gummo, they needing you. I know I done messed up a thing or two, but now it's time to put this bling on you. Please, mama, just believe in me. Just like you wish they believed in you. I just need you to believe it. I know I should have kept this a secret. I got dreams, but you saying quit dreaming because I'm the only one who can see it. Why are you always on defense? Every time we talking to Ish, how can I forget you when you're part of this, Ish? Thinking in the prison like I'm smarter than this. You know, that's just a
Yeah,
little line
that's
from
good. That's
something.
good. So because you brought up mom again, so let me ask you one more thing about her. Did you feel like you really just disappointed her when you were locked up? Were you feeling disappointment? Were you feeling because I heard that in your lyrics. So I'm
Yeah.
asking you, how were you feeling? Like, man, I just became another black man statistic or something like that.
Yeah.
Was that what you
I
were feeling?
did feel
Yeah.
that. I did, but it's also honestly, I was going through a lot of like mental wars with myself in there because all you got to time to do is think. So and think and work out really. I definitely did. I didn't want to be a statistic, and also I didn't really like the way that like the correctional officers would treat inmates and people like me, and it's like they almost want you to feel like you're beneath them or feel like you're lesser than them when that's really not the case. Like there's so many people in that same predicament that if you want to qualify like or quantify a good life by the things you've done, have done way more than these correctional officers who are talking down on us or talking crazy to us. Is like there's for example, I've been out of the country plenty of times. I knew when I was coming home to Georgia to a nice house. So I would look at COs who's talking at me like I'm trash, like, bro, like I've done had a better life than you and I'm living better than you and I'm going to live better than you after this. And I'm younger than, like, why do you feel like you could talk to me like I'm trash because I'm in here? Like, this is just a short time in my life. It's not forever. And when I do leave here, like I'm not the statistic that you think I am. I'm not going back to like the hood or a messed up apartment or sleeping on the floor. I'm not like, and for, they treat everybody the same. And then there's also people in there, like I done been in there with millionaires, like who are in there for bribing people in the government or tax fraud or tax evasion and stuff like that. That are, they're doing their time, but when they go home, they're still gonna be a millionaire. But you feel like you could talk to him like he's beneath you.
Yeah.
And I hated that. I really hated that.
Yeah.
Something that bothered me a lot.
It's that power thing, when they have you in a situation like that, it's that power thing. So where are some of the places you've traveled to? I'm curious because you said you traveled like outside the country and all that. Yeah.
So last place I went to and literally right before I got arrested was Jamaica. Before that, I believe it was Mexico. And before that, I've done like Puerto Rico and VR. Those is kind of like regular.
Okay. Yeah.
And then my mother also had a timeshare in Florida. Furthest West Coast I've been is only Colorado because I had an uncle out there. We went to go see my uncle in Colorado. But that was a connecting flight from it connected from we flew to Texas, stopped at Texas, and then went to Colorado. I didn't really get to explore Texas though. I want to do California, but as far as the East Coast, I've been up and down the East Coast. Living wise, I've lived in New Jersey. Then after New Jersey, I told you my mother moved down south. She moved to South Carolina. And then after South Carolina, I moved to Atlanta. And then Atlanta, I went to PA and then Jersey and then Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of moved around a lot. My mother, she was a stockbroker, so the banks always kind of transfer her and stuff like that.
Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah, man, it's good. Yeah, I like traveling is great. It's like one of those really good opportunities to just like experience different cultures and interact with different people, eat different foods. Colorado is definitely one of my favorite places. New York, that's a place I travel to pretty often. And you went to Jamaica. I'm actually from Trinidad and Tobago. So I have that island. Yeah, I have that island heritage. So there are a lot of island people in Georgia. I know I've never really been there, but I know there are a A lot of island
Mm.
people there. So, okay. So before we go, what I know you talked a lot about your goals and all that sort of stuff. Just to kind of wrap up, where do you
Mm.
see yourself in 3 years? It's something I like to ask
Yeah.
people that, like, where do you see yourself in 3 years, based on this experience that you've had, what you've learned, what you've been through at such a young age, actually,
Yes.
So where do you see yourself in 3 years when you reflect on, what you've been through? Where would you like to see yourself 3 years from now?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not worried about my future at all. I really feel like I'm gonna be something great. Like I really feel it. Like
Good.
some people say it and think it, but I
Yeah.
really feel it. Just the type of person I am. I've always been motivated and a hard worker.
Hmm.
So honestly, I see myself in 3 years. All right, so we gotta do like I have like another year of school. After I finish school, I'll probably have to intern at a studio or something like that. But I honestly
Hmm.
see myself being like really big time in the music industry, whether it's behind the scenes or in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I really see it. I really do.
So that's your passion.
And yeah, that's my passion, but it's something I've been working for and had glimpses of
Hmm.
like forever. Like, I feel like it's destined for me almost. But yeah, that's why I see myself in 3 years, either big behind the scenes or in front of the camera in the music industry.
Okay. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me. So, as I said, when I post this video, I'll send you the link. You could check it out.
Mm-hmm.
You hold on, don't cut off yet. I'm going to stop the recording. We're going to talk
All
after
right.
I hit the recording. But y'all, don't forget to check out his video as well. I'm going to post it on my channel.
Yes.
And also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my other videos.
Mm.
Until next
Yes.
time, thank you very much for showing up, Rahiem. Peace, y'all.
No problem.
Next till the next interview. All right. Bye.